You're listening to the Back Porch Talk podcast. Danny and Jason had many discussions and debates on the back porch while making pivotal investment moves with assets. That's right, with trading cards. They welcome you to the back porch and right into those discussions about current sports news with a fresh and unique twist. So come on and join us. Welcome to the Back Porch Talk podcast. I'm your host, Jason.
Your host, Danny.
Fans, we got a full show for you today, and it's all about the NBA. This is a whole lot going on, man. And a little bit about the Super Bowl, but a whole lot going on in the NBA right now.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, at this juncture, everybody has heard of the Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis trade. Luka going to the Lakers, Anthony Davis going to the Mavs. It's a shocker. So Luka, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris, they're going to the Lakers. The Mavs get Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
The third team involved in this trade is that of the Utah Jazz, and they get Jalen Hood Schifino, and also a 2025 second-round pick and another 2025 second-round pick through the Clippers. Bottom line, man, I think the Mavs got tired of Luka. They got tired of Luka, man. Just, from showing up not in shape, trying to get in shape throughout the course of the season. Him always barking at the referees. A whole host of things, man. Probably a lot of stuff that we don't know is going on behind the scenes. How he maybe talks to the coaches, or just him just not being, professional. We don't know what happened behind the scenes. That's speculation on my part.
Mm-hmm.
But we do know that year after year, Luka doesn't show up fit.
Mm-hmm.
And he's become injury prone. He doesn't play 70 games in a season. He's in the 60s usually. So I think the Mavs has got fed up with it. And the other thing I think, Danny, Luka could have signed a supermax deal during this offseason.
Yep.
We're talking about a 5-year, $345 million contract. That was about $70 million a year, which would have been the richest contract in NBA history.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Luka, if you're not showing up like LeBron, fit, work it out, and ready to go, the Mavs was like, nah, we're not giving you this money. What say you, Danny, about this trade?
There's got to be stuff going on that we're not privy to. They mentioned that about his conditioning. And two, you got to realize Luka has played a lot of basketball. With the World Championships and, like some of the the USA players, some of the stars, they play a lot of basketball, and you have deep runs into the playoffs, which he has had too. For him being only 25, some of that may be adding up on him right away. But two, this could be a blessing in disguise for him to go with LeBron. If anyone can influence him, if that's the case about being in shape and training, and LeBron's your guy, as we can see. But
let me ask you this though, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
How long is LeBron going to be there? Now, there's reports that he's going to stay through this trade deadline. But this offseason, if you're LeBron, do you request a trade?
It kind of depends, because in this case, Luka becomes, if he's healthy, because he's still technically injured, right? So that was another thing that kind of tripped me up about this trade, because both players are injured. But that takes the ball where LeBron may want to be, off the ball more. So, because Luka, is ball dominant, and this is always the case with when you talk about LeBron, it's ball dominance. And these two players are pretty much the same player from that regard. I think the other thing with this trade is what else are the Lakers doing? Because you give up Anthony Davis, which is your primary big. Maxi Kleber is not Anthony Davis, and I'm not saying they got to bring an Anthony Davis lookalike back, but they need some help down low. And Anthony Davis made that abundantly clear multiple times over his time in LA about having a big. So there's a lot of things I just need to absorb still based on once the trade deadline is done, you kind of see if they make additional moves. On the Dallas side of the ball, I guess they're putting all their eggs into the Anthony Davis and Kyrie basket. They got Klay Thompson there too, but Anthony Davis, he's been playing now because that's been his knock and with the whole street clothes nickname. But he's been playing. He's been hurt lately, but he's been playing well. This is one, man. It's going to take me some time to absorb. But the Lakers, in theory, you get a 25-year-old superstar, all NBA player that could technically take over the team once LeBron is gone, and you build around Luka. And he's an international superstar. He'll fit in LA, but if there's some off the court stuff that's troubling, that could be a problem. I just couldn't believe, like everyone else, that they actually went through with the trade. But if you look at it I would say at face value, it looks like the Lakers won the trade just due to the age and because Anthony Davis is going to be 32 soon, coming up, and Luka won't be 26 until next season. And they save on the max deal too. The Lakers will save 16 million if they were to sign him to that same deal, which is also a key savings if they were to do that. So they have a lot of decisions to make on their side, but that's also something to consider. They don't have to pay him 345 million.
Exactly. And just going to that point regarding the salary, and this is according to CBS Sports, Luka is currently in the middle of a 5-year, $215 million contract. It says here, as I mentioned before, he was eligible with the Dallas Mavericks on a 5-year contract at a projected $345 million deal. But the problem now is that, of course, he's no longer with the Dallas Mavericks. It says that a player's maximum salary is based on how much NBA experience he has. So Doncic has been in the league for 7 years, meaning he would typically be eligible to sign a deal starting at 30% of the salary cap. However, when a player is either on his original team or playing for a team that traded for him during the first 4 seasons of his career, he can become eligible for up to 35% of the cap. The max typically available only to players with 10 or more years of experience if he reaches certain benchmarks. So, yeah, Luka gonna lose some money, man. But he can make it up in, some commercials, endorsements, especially in California. It's just that, man, he's in California. Those high taxes versus that of Texas.
Yeah.
So got that whole thing to deal with. Let me ask you this, Danny. I think now what we're experiencing is what you and I love to do growing up. Being on the back porch.
Yep.
Trading cards. Straight up.
Yep.
Right?
Uh-huh.
We talking about superstars. Do you have this Luka, card? Man, I'll trade you Luka for Anthony Davis. I don't know, man. Let's look at the back of the card, see what's going on.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's Back Porch Talk Podcast. I think we're getting back to that. I think we're getting what the GMs have done is they didn't care about what the athletes thought. You don't have a no trade clause in your contract. You can get traded at any point in time. And think what this has done is put all of the NBA players on high alert. I could get traded at any time. No longer. I mean, listen, I understand the player empowerment thing. Okay,
Yep.
but I think the players have taken advantage of that player empowerment, and I think the executives, franchises, they're getting fed up. The only two players that I know of that has a no trade clause in their contract is LeBron and Bradley Beal. Those are the only two players in the NBA.
Yep.
Everybody else can get traded. So Joel Embiid, you can get traded if
Mm-hmm.
there's a team that would take you. And I would just say, what about Washington? I mean, I think it's to the point now in where these franchises and GMs are like, hey man, we gotta start doing what's right for our franchise. I think the new salary cap system, second apron, and everything that's crippling a lot of franchises. I think now these GMs and executive offices, they're looking at it in a totally different perspective now. I think this deal is going to accelerate that. And so I'm curious as to what's going to happen this week when it comes to a lot of trades. I think their
Yep.
GMs now are rethinking things. So those players who are so coveted, I think now they're more empowered to go ahead and pull the trades that they weren't even thinking about. I think there's been a lot of calls behind the scenes being made on dealing with the superstars, stars, whatever you want to call them. I think the players got caught off guard. The world got caught
Agree.
off guard. I think you're going to see some different things happen by GMs, not only this week, but I believe something's going to happen during the offseason. I think this may help with the NBA ratings, the viewership. Think about it. Now, since big
Yep.
names are being traded, they're no longer uh, being coddled, if you will.
Yep.
I believe it's going to increase the viewership.
Oh, big time, man. Just to see those type of moves.
Yeah, it's going to
That's
increase the viewership. So I
they
wonder
needed.
if
They
this was
needed. It
done
was like a shot in the
intentionally.
arm.
Yeah, I wonder if this was done intentionally.
You never know. We never because this is the quietest trade, blockbuster trade we've ever had ever.
Speaking of the other trade, Danny, you have the likes of DeAaron Fox now going to the San Antonio Spurs. So the Spurs get DeAaron Fox as well as Jordan McLaughlin. The Kings get Zach Levine and a boatload of picks. Second round, man, you get 3 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks. That's what the Kings got. Oh my gosh. Bulls received Zach Collins, Kevin Huter, Trey Jones, and a first-round pick. I think the Kings did quite well in this trade in terms of the picks. They're not going to be very competitive at all. The Spurs, oh, the Wemby Fox duo
Mm-hmm.
is going to be that pick and roll going to be vicious for the next few years. And you keep Castle, budding star. The Spurs got something down there. I believe the Bulls were just trying to offload Zach, and they got a first round pick out of it. So
Mm-hmm.
Bulls did pretty well in this trade too. I think this was all around, man, pretty fair trade. What say you about this Spurs trade?
But I look at the Kings, they got a whole bunch of picks. Who knows what they'll be worth? Obviously, we just don't know. And they were able to offload De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox actually benefited from this whole thing being disgruntled, landing with Wemby.
Yeah,
He, I thought he was going to go somewhere where they was going to ship him off and tell him good luck, but
he's
he landed in
listen,
the perfect spot.
he's in a perfect spot. Not only that, but I'm just thinking about the championships. You got Pop down there, still
Hmm.
recovering. You got a championship organization and championship family.
Yep.
That he
But I'm
made
just
out.
worried. I'm just worried about how it may impact the younger guys from the guard position because Chris Paul was kind of the point and letting Castle and Vassell and those dudes
We'll
do
put
their
put
thing.
Darren at the two.
So put Castle at the one or Vassell.
No, I think he put him at the two as well. I'm
Kind of
sorry, put
play.
him at the three, small three.
So we got those 1, 2, 3. They're
Yep.
young and they can be exciting, man. Obviously, we
It,
saw what happened the other night against the Bucks. So that's a major upgrade for San Antonio. We'll just,
San Antonio set.
hmm So now we'll just see what happens if anything else happens this week with them. But that was a major pickup, and like I said, Fox got lucky
Yeah.
because as much they're going back and forth, and he said he wasn't complaining and all that good stuff for him to land in a spot like San Antonio with Wemby is a blessing.
So since we're still in the NBA, let's talk about these Milwaukee Bucks, man. They just lost yesterday to the Memphis Grizzlies at Milwaukee. They have a game tonight against OKC at OKC. Looks like Giannis, Dame, and Chris Middleton, they're out.
Yeah.
Bobby Portis has been missing for the past five games due to personal reasons. I think Brooke Lopez is out tonight as well,
Yep.
due to back issues. This is this. I don't know what's going on with Milwaukee Bucks, man. I'm curious about Portis. Past five games out because of personal reasons. I'm wondering if it's more so along the lines of him being put up for a trade.
That's that was when I saw the injury report tonight. I'm like, uh-oh, something about
Yeah.
to go down or what?
So I think
Well, all them
somebody.
because usually that's what happens when trades are about to go down. People
Hmm.
sit.
Yeah, I think that's going down, man. Something's gotta happen with Milwaukee, though, man. If anything told us, from the trade with Luka and AD, everybody's up for a trade.
Yep.
It's time for Milwaukee to make a trade. I
Yeah.
was watching a little bit of the game yesterday, Boston and Philly. I see Drew out there doing Drew things, and I'm just like, I get it because Dame is definitely a scorer.
Hmm.
He has picked up his defense from what I could tell.
Yep.
Still not to the level of Drew, but he has picked up the defense. Chris is starting to kind of get in the swing of things. The parts just not all fitting. Something missing. So we'll see. We'll see. What say you about the Milwaukee Bucks?
Well, Jay too. They had a tough game on Friday night against Wemby and the Spurs. We were just talking about Wemby. I don't know. It's just hard to put your finger on what's going on. Um, they just don't look like they had just had this period of games. They look really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now they're reverting back to the team that was at the beginning of the season where they were what, 2 and 14
2-8,
or 2 and
something like
12
that.
or wherever they
Yeah,
were.
2-8. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just don't know. And it may be too with the rumors. You just don't know with that may be impacting the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's Middleton, Portis, and Connaughton have been,
Nonsense in there. Yeah.
yep. So with that, and these dudes have been playing together for how many years now?
Long time. They won a championship together.
Yeah. So you hear stuff like that could upset the apple cart, and
Yeah.
that may be it. But just seeing, like I said, when I saw that injury report and it was like out, 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 like what? And, and I looked at the line just to check the sports line, and it jumped up to it was like 16, the spread. I'm like, man,
I believe it.
yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't like 30. But but so now like games like tonight, this is where the young guys got to take advantage of the minutes.
Mm-hmm.
See what you have because this could be a possible audition too for a trade
Mm-hmm.
for some of the younger guys to put in a package where you may not have to put a Portis, you may could put someone else.
That's
But
probably why they did it too.
yeah, so that's another thing to take a look at tonight is how do the young guys play against OKC, one of the top teams in the NBA.
Yep. Yep.
So we'll see what happens tonight, man.
And Danny, last but not least, Super Bowl is happening this Sunday. Eagles against the Kansas City Chiefs. I already made my prediction, man. I'm sticking with I can't even say I'm sticking with the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a close game, but I think the Eagles are going to win it this time. I think this is going to be one of those 3-point games type situations. I see Saquon doing okay. I think he's going to catch the ball a little bit more out the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kansas City is going to really focus on the run game to soften it up a little bit. I can see some short passes happening on the Eagles' part. And I see the ball control going in Philly's favor. Again, much like how it was the first time they met in the Super Bowl here. Kansas City, this is going to be tough, man. This is going to be a good game. Yeah, this is going to be a good game, but I'm giving it to Eagles. What say you?
I'm gonna take the Chiefs. I'm gonna stick with the Chiefs. Make it interesting for us. But I totally agree with all your points, man, with the Eagles, because you get Saquon out in space, there ain't nobody can mess with him. So, like you said, if they put some, do some screens, some swing passes, stuff like that, kind of switch it up, because usually they're just running through the line, just pounding them. And we've seen a couple games this year where the Eagles hold the ball for like almost a quarter, which they can do because they're that's how their team is built. I think if they go that route, yeah, they definitely have the upper hand, and they have the receiving core. They have Dallas Goedert at tight end. They have all the parts to beat Kansas City. But like I said, I'm gonna go with Mahomes and see if he gets his third in a row with Andy Reid and Kelsey.
Thank you for joining us at Back Porch Talk Podcast. You can also join us on Twitter by tweeting us at @back_podcast. For more information, you can go to our website, which is backporchtalkpodcast.com. You can also email us at backporchtalkpodcast@gmail.com. Again, thank you for joining us, and remember that there's enough hate in the world, so go ahead and spread a little love.